welcome. It's Marconi, Bologna, and Ciara Cake.
Hello.
This is the Me Plus Cake podcast, a premiere episode.
Dun, da, da, da.
We are going to do our best to make this a good podcast. Thank you for tuning in. And, basically, Ciara Cake and I met on Twitter, and she moved here from Canada, and then we decided we were going to do vlogs and podcasts and all that kind of stuff. So that's a brief part of our history. We'll get into the details soon, but Ciara Cake and Bijou, Ciara Cake's dog, who I now have adopted as mine as well. We do this podcast, and hopefully every week from the robot bed. Why are you laughing?
Because you were just like, nope.
No, people can't see what you just did. You have to explain it in words.
What did I do?
You just did a motion, but nobody can see that.
What did I do? I went like this to Bijou.
You said you just did this, and then you moved away.
Oh, you just moved the microphone to my mouth and then moved it away really fast. It was funny.
It's because I forgot that I had more to say.
Oh, sorry.
That happens a lot.
Bijou wants to talk too, don't you, Bijou?
What do you have to say, Bijou? Bijou's so quiet though. Like when we're around, she doesn't really make a lot of noise.
No, which is good.
It is, but when you want to on a podcast, you hope to,
speak, Bijou.
I wish she could do that. I wish she could just say speak and she would like bark. But she's sniffing the microphone right now.
She licked it.
So basically, this is a podcast about our lives, just like our vlogs on YouTube, which shortly after this podcast premieres, we'll be launching on youtube.com/MePlusCake. All of our things are on the internets, Twitter, MePlusCake, Facebook, MePlusCake, and MePlusCake.com on Tumblr.
Snack.
Yeah. Snacks are right.
Snacks.
Oh my gosh. So this podcast will be a lot of things that stem from both of us. Ciara Cake is not a professional podcaster yet, but
hey,
she's pretty natural at it, so I will give her that at least. Have you been on the radio or anything before?
No, never.
And ever, besides my podcast, ever been invited to be a guest on anything?
Nope.
Okay, so there you go. That's right. You never know. Before you know, you'll be a huge star, and people will be like, "Who's that Marconi Bologna guy, and why is he doing this? Why is he in her way?"
No, I'll always be on your coattails.
Yeah, whatever. So yeah, I mean, our history is basically we met on the internet on Twitter. I don't know why she thought I was funny or something or goofy or.
No, do you want to know the real story?
Of course.
One time, you started following me first. I don't know why. I don't know how you found me.
I think somebody retweeted you or something.
Something like that. And then one day, because I usually follow people back unless they're really boring or something, and I thought he was funny. And so one day I decided to stalk his entire existence at marconibologna.com and all those places. And I saw some pictures, and I was like, oh, damn.
She is blind, by the way, legally blind.
He's fine as hell.
And then you started DMing me.
I DM'd you first, and I said, you're a babe. Do you remember that?
But do you do that to a lot of guys before me?
No, I've never dated online. I've never had any internet dating experience. I don't know. There was something about you, and I was like, I need to tell him that I think he's attractive. And now look where we are.
And you're sorry for it every single day.
Oh, whatever.
So then, yeah, it was like for a year, we were on this app called Voxer.
We were on Kik, and we were on Voxer and Skype. Not really texting, though. We never really texted because long distance would have been really expensive.
No, I mean, we texted on that app Kik, and that's free. So that's the thing is I suggest if you have a long distance situation, relationship, or you meet somebody on the internet, Kik is really good to start out with because it's just text, and then because it's free. Like, and we're at home, most of us we work from home on the internets most of the day, so we were near Wi-Fi at all times. So we always texted each other through this app called Kik.
And it's the safest way to communicate because you don't have to give out your phone number if you're not comfortable with that, and you just give out your username and you can chat like that. And then when you're comfortable. So
she was talking to like 12 other dudes.
Oh, no, I was not.
From her DMings on Twitter that she told.
I can prove it.
You're a babe. To every other guy. And then then we graduated to this app called Voxer because you can basically, it's like a walkie-talkie for texting, and you can text and use your voice and the whole thing. So it's pretty cool. We still use that.
We do when I'm over at my place.
Yeah.
And here.
Yeah, so here's the thing. After a year of talking on Voxer, finally Ciara Cake's like, hey, look, what's happening with this? I call you my boyfriend, you call me your girlfriend.
We dropped the L-bomb.
Yeah, we said we love each other.
You said, well, I don't know. Who said I love you first?
I think you did, because I was very
I said, no, it was
apprehensive.
It was in a text, and I said it in French as to be cute.
Yeah.
But to kind of hint that
She je t'aimed me.
And that, then we were on Skype, talking on Skype one night, and you thought it was really cute, and then
I brought it up that you je t'aimed me, and you didn't think I noticed.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't think you noticed, and then you wanted me to say it in English, and I wouldn't say it because I wanted you to say it first, and then you did.
I'm making everybody vomit now. I'm sorry.
Aww.
Good.
I cried like a little baby.
Why? Because you were sad that...
No, because I was so happy.
Oh, tears of joy.
They were.
Oh.
Rude.
As we lay in my robot bed of no tears.
Of regret. The bed of regret.
Oh. Well, you said it. I didn't.
Whatever.
These are just little notes.
I pursued you viciously, though.
Not really vicious. Viciously.
I was a little bit pressury, though.
Yeah, you kind of like said, hey, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for whatever this is. You're a nice girl, and you deserve someone who's like ready to and knows. And I was like, if this isn't what you want, maybe, I wasn't sure if I was ready, but you were like, no, you're ready.
And then we met at the airport.
Yeah, we did meet at the airport. We met in a fort.
We did.
Under a bridge.
Yes, it was safe.
No, we did meet at the airport, and you had a layover from a trip you were taking, and we spent like 8 hours in the airport.
I actually got my layover changed so that I could meet you and spend time with you.
Stalkerish.
For the first time.
Creeper.
Well, I just felt like it was easier because that way, I wouldn't come here.
Yeah.
And the awkwardness of, having to go to each other's hometowns, and that's a little bit
And
weird.
here's just a tip for guys meeting girls. I decided, and because I just think it's important, when you're like on a first date with a girl, which basically this was an 8-hour first date
Yes.
in an airport, when you've known someone for about a year on the internet, and you talk every day, like we talk every day on
Every
this
single
Voxer,
day, yeah.
and it wasn't even like for any amount of time. It was like all day on Voxer, because it's back and forth like a text, but it's voice.
Even when we were kicking.
You mean on the Kick app? Yes, we talked all day. And so, and like most people know that, because most people probably do that now too. Like we're not like unique to talking all day, but like, when people just talked on the phone, they would maybe have a phone conversation for 30 minutes or, an hour
We
or
would
something.
Skype for, I think our longest Skype was 10 hours. Once. I'm not kidding. It was. It was like from 6 at night till like 5 in the morning. It was. We would have the longest Skype sessions.
Something ridiculous.
It was.
So, and she's in Canada, and I'm in an undisclosed location in Northern America.
Yes. And I'm there now too.
She's also in an undisclosed location in Northern America.
I was blindfolded before I came here.
Yes, exactly. And now she's in my robot bed with a dog named Bijou.
Oh, snack.
Yeah, so when we met in the airport, it was natural. Like, we'd known each other and we talked to each other. So it was like, the only difference was like, wow, we're physically in the same location together. And that was cool.
It was nerve-wracking, but as soon as we hugged, I knew.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry, everyone who's vomiting right now.
Hey, it's a couples podcast.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I forget. It is a podcast of love.
The love.
Yeah. Whenever we talk to lovey-dovey, maybe there should be some music on this podcast that plays.
Make something slow and romantic.
Yeah, just like, oh, da, 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 Canada. Like maybe some saxophone in there, something cheesy from the 80s or something.
Yeah, I'd like that.
So we knew that we hit it off right away. And then you went back to Canada and you were upset and you sat next to a guy on the plane that basically wanted to rape you in the bathroom in the Mile High Club.
Oh.
No, because you told me there was a dude that sat next to you on your trip back. I think you were headed back to like Seattle or something.
Yeah.
And he was like saying, yeah,
he was married, and the first half of the trip, he was telling me about how much he loved his wife and how she was a solid 10, you know.
A solid 10.
He was telling all night long. He's like,
What?
"Oh, she's a soft 8. She's a hard 7." So, anyways, and then as he started drinking scotch on the rocks, and so he got a little sloppy, and then
And Sierra doesn't drink at all, but she's not like a teetotaler. Like she's cool with people drinking around her, and you're not like judgmental, but.
Well, when you start getting
you're totally straight edge.
Yeah, and when I don't care if people drink around me, but it's when you're getting, a little creepy after just telling me how much you love your wife, and you're getting a little handsy and stuff. And
handsy? What was he doing?
Well, he wasn't handsy, but he reached across.
Oh yeah, you told me this.
And he took. I was wearing kind of like a low cut shirt, and he took.
Yeah, you were.
There was like a hair hanging from there, and he took it out of like my cleavage area. And I was like,
a little bit too much, sir.
And then I kind of looked to the side, and I saw he was texting his soft 7 to go and meet him.
His wife?
No, his soft 7.
Oh, wait, you didn't tell me about this. Okay, so you didn't explain this. So he traveled a lot, and he had a woman in every city. He was
pretty much.
But did he look like Don Draper?
Ew, no. He was like a soft 2.
And by soft, you mean he was a fat ass?
No, he wasn't fat, but he wasn't attractive. He was a little cocky for his,
But he was one of those guys, probably had some money and just thought he
owned a business, so he immediately had this like cocky like.
And the reason he probably could have, because and this is like what a lot of guys don't even realize this. Women are attracted to confidence, but in some cases, women don't see the cockiness, and what you saw was cockiness. Plus, you were in love with me, and we just hung out at the airport for 8 hours. So, I had my effervescence was sprayed upon your outlook on the world, so you couldn't look at another man.
Effervescence.
Yes.
That's what we're calling it.
Yeah. Hey, this is a family podcast, whether you like it or not.
Exactly. The kids won't know.
Yes, and potentially on iHeartRadio, so we don't want to ruin our chances.
I wasn't effervescence as in like your scent.
Right.
Duh.
Right.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
Dirty perv.
You're pervier than me. Anyway, so this guy was drinking, and he was on your trip, but you got off and escaped his grasp.
I did. I literally ran to the other side of the airport so I wouldn't have to
converse with him or have a drink with him or anything.
Because he invited me to the bar, and he's like, I was like, I don't drink, and he's like, well, have a Coke then. God.
Did he say you were at least a soft 10?
I don't know what.
A hard 7. What a douchebag.
I was probably like a soft 6 to him. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah. Well, and he showed you pictures of women he'd conquested, right?
No, he would show me pictures of his trip to Paris with his wife.
Oh, okay. And then he didn't show you the soft 7 in Seattle?
No, he was texting her. He had 2 phones, and he was texting.
Oh, so wait, he had his real phone, and then he had like
his business phone, quote, and his side chick phone.
Oh, okay.
No, but he was texting her, and I could
taking
see
a
his
note
text.
now. Let's see. So get a side chick phone. What?
Don't even think about it.
Oh, is that out loud? Sorry.
Rude. Already?
No, not at all. How dare you?
How dare you?
So anyway, he's a douchebag, and you escaped his grasp. And then you went home.
Yep.
And we're like, you know what? I think you should probably just... Because you were thinking of moving away from Canada just because you had lived there your whole life. And you had moved and experienced living outside of the parental situation after college. I'm sorry, are you taking a picture in the middle of the podcast?
Yes, I am.
You have to focus because we're in the middle of recording a podcast.
Sorry, she was really cute. I was going to
She's
use it.
always cute, though. You
Okay,
can't.
okay.
Yeah, you should. Okay, as long as you're going to tweet that when I post the podcast.
I will.
All right. Just sometimes it's hard to work with unprofessional
Oh, Jesus.
people. Anyway, so Ciara Cake decided she couldn't live without me and wanted to move here. That's basically the story I'm going to tell.
That is the story, though.
And you were like, and I was like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, but no, at that point, I was like, yeah, you should just move here.
No, because I kept bringing it up and you would either change the subject or you would joke about it. And then finally I was like, okay, serious moment. Because we do a lot of joking and we play around a lot.
Role playing.
PG, remember?
What? I play the boyfriend, you play the girlfriend.
Right, okay. Anyways, and then we had a serious discussion and you chose me.
Duh. Who wouldn't? Yeah. Anyway, and so then the weird thing was I never met your family, and your dad was kind of like, he needs to come up here before you do anything. And I was like, and I kind of felt like weird because, you know, when you date someone, you get a chance to date and like
then meet their parents.
And then but we both kind of like with your dad, I was meeting him because he drove you down here from Canada in your car.
Yep.
What a cool guy. This is the thing. I was like, how did you explain to your dad like the whole situation? Like, did you tell him?
Well, he knew from like when we first started talking because I was always talking to you, and my dad is like my best friend, so I tell him pretty much everything. And so he knew about you.
You skipped some details, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
No, but he knows every time there's something wrong. He knows immediately. Every time I'm excited about something, he knows immediately. Like. We just know each other like the back of each other's hands, and so. So
your dad thought it's like, you know what, this is what you want, and I trust
you. Basically, he knows that I'm not.
Was he just trying to get rid of you?
No, oh my God, no. Every day pretty much he texts me and asks me when I'm moving back home and why you can't come and work there and stuff like that, and I said, oh yeah, Dad, next week.
I wish you could. So I was kind of nervous because, you know, when you're a boyfriend. And you met your girlfriend on the internet, and you're me. Mm-hmm. You know, your dad could Google things, and I wouldn't. Some of the things aren't great. Anyway, so because I'm a public radio person, whatever persona, and I thought, oh great, oh no, and you would tell me, yeah, your dad's stalking. By Facebook or something like that. I was like, oh, and so then I don't know. Your dad was really cool, and I'm not just saying that to kiss someone's ass. He was. Obviously he is. He's like, you told me, he's like you, but an adult man.
We're literally the exact same person, but not.
And so we did a lot of shopping right away. We went to dinner. We hung out. We had drinks. I think your dad and I had a drink together, and we had some wine at his hotel. And we watched fireworks. And
my stepmom was there, too, so that was all cool.
And I was nervous about all this stuff, but as soon as I met them, I'm like, I was put at ease. They're very nice people.
They are. They're probably the easiest people ever to get along. Same with my mom and my stepdad, too. When you meet them eventually, they're a little bit crazier, but they're all
your stepdad sounds pretty cool, too. And you've said things about your mom, and I'm like, oh, she'll probably hate me. But other than that.
No, she won't.
Yeah, and so then the next thing was... my cousins were driving through town, and I have cousins that live in town. And so then the next weekend, you're meeting like half of my family on my dad's side.
Yep.
My cousins, my uncle, and that was crazy, right?
They were fine. They were really nice.
Super nice, and they loved you.
They loved me.
Right? Couldn't you tell?
Well, they were very nice to me.
They were like, oh, hey, good job. She's pretty hot. Then the next weekend, you met my family, which is my mom, my sister, her 4 kids, my other sister, who just graduated high school. Who else? That was it, right? That was all the kids.
All the kids.
But it was 4 kids. But I have other sisters that weren't there that have other kids. So there's like a whole slew of nieces and nephews. But then my sister's in-laws, who were really cool, and my mom and dad. And they were all cool.
Yeah.
It was, it was like one of those things where I was kind of like, it was weird because I hadn't really told them about you. I slowly trickled the conversation in because my family are crazy with the, hey, are you going to have kids yet? Are you guys getting married? When is it going to happen? Like they're right away. Like and if I don't warn them or let them know, like, hey, don't do that. They go nuts. So they were good, though. They were on their best behavior. They didn't say one thing about it.
I don't think so. Not that I can remember.
Nope. They didn't even say when I was holding my baby nephew Samuel, "Don't you want one?" No, they didn't do it. They didn't even do that.
We have 3 cats and a dog.
Right.
That's enough.
That's right. My uterus has been tied. Anyway.
What? Your uterus?
I can no longer have children.
Oh.
Anyway. Well, so meeting my family wasn't the worst thing in the world, and they loved you. They were like, "Hey, good job." They did the same thing. So, see?
They did?
Yeah. I always just worry about me. I wonder why my family even still talks to me is the question. But anyway, they do, and they loved you, so that was good.
That's good. I'm glad.
So then we're sitting here, and it's like only been a month. Has it been a month and a half? August is almost over.
I seriously, I feel like it should be like August 10th right now, and it's the 21st.
Yeah, you moved here in July the 3rd.
Yep.
So at the end of July, it's almost 2 months.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's the end of August right now.
And we've decided so here's the thing. Sierra moves down here, and I said, "You want to move down here? Great, do it. Fine, whatever."
God, if you have to. I'm going to stalk you anyway. So.
And I said, "You know what? Why don't we just move in the same apartment buildings that are adjacent to each other? Like literally like right across the street." And she's like, "Okay." And so we live in the same, pretty much, if you want to call it complex, the same complex.
It's like spitting distance, pretty much.
She lives like literally, yeah.
Like 2 buildings away.
Yeah. So it's awesome, but at the same time, and we're paying way too much. So not only are we like, hey, you know what? We knew right away we're compatible, and you're here most of the time. Like,
well, I just think like if I were to, because we hadn't dated for any, real life time.
We just wanted to like be like real life, see what our situation was, because if we hated each other, then. Okay, whatever.
Then we're stuck in like all my stuff's here, and then there's the awkwardness of having to like move all your stuff out, and that wouldn't have been a good time. So I think that it was.
Did you just say I would move my stuff out? How dare you?
I said I would move my stuff out.
Whatever.
Like you, as in
you were gonna take over my apartment. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, Oh God. Anyways, no, but. I mean, you never know because you have to actually date somebody to, know if you like them, no matter if you've been talking for a year, 5 years, or what. Because there might be, what if there was something about me that really annoyed you right away, or vice versa, or whatever.
Well,
you never know.
There were plenty, but I just let them go.
Whatever.
I'm an evolved human being. I can do that.
Oh God.
I'm not Nick.
What? Like what?
Nothing. I'm just kidding.
What?
No, but so we like knew like, hey, we're both spending a ton on rent, and we're both basically at my house most of the time. Why don't we just move into each other? And so that's what we're gonna do. We're moving in. I kind of told my family, but I didn't directly tell them. I didn't say like, "Hey, family, we're moving in together." But I said, "I'll be saving a lot of money."
Dun, da, da, da.
And that's always good to hear from your son, right? Mom, might need help moving, but guess what? I'll be saving money. And then it was like, woo! My mom loves bargains, so she's like, well, as long as she's paying half the rent. She didn't say that. No.
Well,
those are just benefits of it being a great situation. That's all I'm saying, right?
Right.
Because then you have a lot of extra money, and it's like, whoa, this is cool.
And getting a bigger place.
So, are you excited? Because we met on the internet, and now here we are. Gonna have to look at me every day, and there's no escape. Like, you can't go to your apartment if you're mad at me.
I can hide in my room, though.
In your room? Oh, yes, we're having separate rooms.
Yeah, right.
No. Well, because, we both work from home, and I have a studio, and she's gonna have an office in the house, which is a second bedroom. And
with my bed and everything like that.
So I just fear, like, you get into a fight, and then that ends up being, like, where you'll be.
I don't think so.
Because I don't think that's a good way to do it, do you? Like, I don't think you should, like, go to bed. I always say, the tradition is, and they always say this, and you probably even ask your grandmother, don't go to bed angry.
It's true.
And you and I are pretty much alike in the fact that, like, we don't like to
stay mad ever. Yeah. No. And we've had, like, a couple, like, little tiffs here and there. And I would go to my place only because this isn't my apartment, so I would kind of feel weird if I was, brooding here, so I just would go to my place. But if it's our apartment together, then I would feel at home there. So
you'll brood in your room.
I'll brood right
You
in the
slam
middle
your door
of the living
Are you a door slammer?
No.
You're not really a dramatic person at all.
I don't think so. I hope not.
I mean, you speak dramatics as like when you're venting, but that's about it.
Like what?
There have been a couple of times I'm like, no, just calm down.
Like when I moved here.
Yeah, when you moved here because the front desk people weren't.
Oh God, they were awful.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say something,
And I said, no, don't worry about it.
my dad and you both were like, "Don't do it," and so I was like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
fine."
That's what I mean. So you might have a flair, but you usually keep it under wraps.
And it's not like I freak out about every little thing either, like most girls. So.
Yeah. You're not punching anybody. You're not having
Ew,
cat fights.
God, gross. No, that's so tacky. Girls, if you're
too
fighting,
tiny.
if you're fist fighting and being physical with each other, then I'll throw up everywhere, all over you.
Oh, that's a threat.
It should be.
That should stop all the violence in the world,
It
right?
should. Ciara Cake will vomit all over you. If you have any questions for us about our scenario, if there's anything you'd like to know in further detail, let us know. You can tweet us.
At Me Plus Cake.
Yep. Or leave us comments on all the things, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, and we have a YouTube vlog that is starting soon at youtube.com/Me Plus Cake. The best thing to do is all of our links and everything, and we post everything on our blog, mepluscake.com. So if you go there, you'll know things, and you'll see pictures from our Instagrams and all that kind of stuff. So check it out, mepluscake.com. We saw the Jobs movie about Steve Jobs, his life.
We did.
And Ashton Kutcher was in that. I can't think of anybody else. I know I recognize a ton of other people, but I couldn't tell you anybody else but Ashton Kutcher off the top of my head.
No, I couldn't even tell you their names.
A lot of them are just like, good supporting actors and stuff like that. You see in all
Always
movies.
the supporting actor, forever the supporter.
Yeah, there are a lot of different movies that you see them in. You're like, oh yeah, that guy. I didn't recognize the guy that played Steve Wozniak.
I've seen him in a couple things.
Oh, you have?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
I think he might have been in one of the Fast and Furious movies.
Okay, but Ashton Kutcher, and I say this because I hate when people give a backhanded compliment or a complisalt, but I've never thought, like, in any way that he was my favorite, but I never hated him. Like, I've never been like, oh, I hate that guy. He's just a dude, and he does dumb things just like any other guy, and probably because he's from Iowa.
Well, and his roles are always like the goob,
Yeah.
Like, he hasn't... I mean, the only other movie that I can think of that he was kind of serious in was Butterfly Effect. And he was pretty good in that, but...
Oh, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah.
Was that the one where he gets hit in the head and then he's in different scenarios?
Something like that. It was.
I remember that movie being really cool.
It was kind of freaky. It was a little bit of like a thriller
I
slash...
forgot. And he was just in one of the scenes. He wasn't like in the whole movie, right?
No, yeah, he was like the main character in that
Oh,
movie.
yeah. Forgot about that.
You just don't know if you could take him too seriously, but I think he did a good job in Jobs.
He definitely had the walk down for sure.
Oh, yeah. I wonder how long he practiced that for.
I don't know.
The walk was like to a T.
Yeah. And the thing about Jobs is like you realize, but you kind of learn that Steve Jobs was kind of an
He had his moments for sure. But I mean,
I think towards the end of his life, he kind of became a better person.
Yeah, and I think when you're somebody who's as passionate as he obviously was when he was younger, that can come across as either being like a D-bag or, being rude or whatever, and oftentimes they don't mean to, but that's just how it comes across.
But I think most of the people respected him. That's why they stayed with him, most of them.
Yeah, because he was good at what he did, and he was confident, and he knew what he was doing, So
I don't know. How many Ciara cupcakes would you give it?
Well, I didn't hate it, so I would probably give it like 3 cupcakes out of 5.
3 out of 5? That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And I say about the same because I think it's a pretty good depiction of how Apple became to be.
It's more of the early stage stuff too. It doesn't get really into like the products.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning they show a foreshadowing of the iPod.
First iPod. So
that was it. But I think the good thing is that we already know the story.
Yeah.
So they didn't waste our time with the stuff we already know.
I kept thinking it was gonna kind of like skip a few years to get to like the newer stuff, but it never did. So.
And I was kind of glad because honestly, the Ashton Kutcher as older Steve Jobs was kind of creepy with that hair.
Yeah, it was.
Because you could tell, like, you know how sometimes some makeup just doesn't quite cut it?
Yeah.
And they didn't spend much time on it, so it didn't ruin the movie or anything. But seeing that right away, I was like, yeah.
Oh, good.
A little bit creepy. But all in all, the Jobs movie I would recommend going to see.
Definitely.
Well, I think that's it for this premiere edition of Me Plus Cake podcast. How do you think it went?
Pretty good. I don't think we covered a lot of ground.
Well, we're going to do this every week, so we can...
Yes.
There's so much stuff to get to.
Can I talk about nail polish?
No, you'll have to do your own nail polish podcast or
Nobody
whatever.
wants to hear that.
But, subscribe to our channels. Basically, just go to mepluscake.com, and all of our links to our Tumblr pages, which have all the links to everything Me Plus Cake. Facebook.com/Me Plus Cake. Twitter.com/Me Plus Cake. And our vlog is youtube.com/Me Plus Cake. Our blog, mepluscake.com. Did I cover all those?
That's a lot of cake.
Yeah, it is.
Who doesn't love cake though? So.
Yeah, and do you like that the podcast is named, Me Plus Cake, which is insinuating your name, and my name is just me?
Be by Cody.
Hey, everybody. Well, until next time, thank you both for listening, and we don't really have a sign-off for this podcast. What should it be?
I don't know. We got to think of something for the next episode, though. This is just the
premiere.
The pilot.
The pilot episode. Yeah, you'll be replaced in the next episode. I'll find...
So mean. Don't say that.
Yeah, so take over all your...
Rude.
Yeah. We really have only hit the tip of the iceberg, as they say. So I hope you'll keep listening and subscribe to all our things and spread the word. And thank you both for listening.
Let them eat cake.
That's not going to be the close of the podcast.